everybody. Happy Thursday. This is Gail, the Happy Stamper, and I wanted to share a card with you today that I made, and I pretty much took this idea right out of the Occasions catalog and just changed my background image here a little bit, but I'm in need of birthday cards, and I'm also going to be needing wedding cards. So I thought I'll make a couple of these, and then I'll work on some of the wedding cards that I have. But I just wanted to show you how quickly and easily you can put a card together using the Birthday Blooms stamp set. And this is just, it's beautiful. The artwork is fabulous. And I also used brush strokes. This is one of my go-to background stamps, and it just adds just the right amount to any background. So this one I did in mint macaron, which is my favorite color, but I thought I would change it up and do pool party on this one. So that's what I'm going to do for this one. So I'm just going to set that over there. All right, the ink pads I'm using are Pool Party, Watermelon Wonder, Tip Top Taupe, and lastly, my Memento ink. I'm also going to be using my watercolor water brush. And for that, you want to use the Memento so it won't smear. Another little tip, I keep mine stored upside down. This ink pad is not the flip over kind like our Stampin' Up ones. So in order to keep the pad juicy, I keep it turned upside down. So that's my little tip for you. And then lastly, I'm going to use Old Olive. So those are the stamp pads I am going to be using. For cardstock, super easy. We're using 2 pieces. Our first one, this is simply an 8.5 by 11 sheet of our Whisper White cardstock, cut at 5.5. So, and fold it over, like so. Our second piece, our focal point, this is going to be 4.25 by 4.25 square. Okay? So let's start with our background stamp. You're going to need a piece of scratch paper for that, and also a really big block. And then I'm going to take our Pool Party, and I'm going to pat it, blob it, dampen, smush, squish, streak, anything you can imagine to get this ink on there. I'm going to take the card and I'm going to bring the card to the stamp because this is a pretty large stamp. It can be difficult to get a good image. So just take your scratch piece of paper and give it a good push. Rub all over the front of it, or the top of it rather, really well. And then simply bring it up. Now my ink colors are kind of vivid here. If your color is a little softer, that would be because I have just, let me clean this off here. I'm just using baby wipes. That for me is easier on these big ones. As I was saying, I just re-inked all of these, so they're kind of bright. All right. Then we're going to bring our flower image in. I'm going to set that to the side. And I'm going to ink this up real well with our Memento black ink. Make sure you get the center real well where those little stamens are. I believe that's what you call them. Because sometimes larger stamps can miss the center part. All right, so I'm going to just press real hard. Give it a second just to transfer. This ink is wonderful for stamping. It gives really great, crisp images. And while I have this out, I'm also going to stamp my sentiment. And this says, happiest of birthdays to you. And that's going to go up here in the right-hand corner. And just give it a second to transfer. And I'm going to wipe that off. and we're done with that. All right, so this is what we have so far. Now, I have gone ahead so you don't have to watch me color, and I have just about finished coloring my image. But that's what you're gonna, isn't that pretty? It's pretty just like that. Okay, that gives me another idea. All right, so I take my lid of my old olive ink pad because I've already gone ahead and colored my rose with Wisteria Wonder. I use some Tip Top Taupe. I like to start at the base of my image because that's where my color is going to be the darkest, and I like to pull it out. So I'll start around the bottom of this leaf and just bring it out. And it just kind of naturally lightens as it goes along. And you can go back if you want and darken areas up, which again is something I like to do. Watercoloring is so fun and relaxing. And then for the stamen, I'm using Hello Honey. Going to give that a little squish. Just pick up a bit of color. And I'm going to just do the same thing here. And if you come out, let it bleed, you know, just a tad, it will fade into the color of the flower, which looks really pretty, like that. Love it. Make sure, too, you wipe off your brush really well in between switching colors, because that will, you know, ensure that it's clean. I'm taking the little dots here. There's these little itty bitty speckles, and I'm just going to randomly put these around this beautiful rose. This is such a pretty stamp set. It's actually a bundle. You can save 15% purchasing it together, and I just think it's beautiful. And I wasn't going to get this until a friend of mine, hi Paula, she's like, oh, it's such a beautiful set. And I thought, okay, I'm going to look at it again. And boy, was she right. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to come in lastly with my pool party. And this is just a little solid flower. And I'm going to just add a couple of these. And again, my stamp set is very, very fresh. Or my ink pad, rather, is very, very fresh. Ooh, now see, I blooped it. But that's okay. I'm going to go with it. Because that's just the kind of gal I am. And lastly, we're going to apply our pop dots. I think I must be the only person who calls them pop dots. That's what we used to call them. I have been with Stampin' Up! For a very, very long time. That's what we used to call them, pop dots. Not to mention it's just fun to say, but most people call them foam dots now. But I'm old school, girls, and I call it pop dots. Okay, and then I'm just going to center this on my card, like so. Totally easy and quick. So that's my 2 cards for you. That is featuring the birthday blooms, and it's a beauty, you guys. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful set. All the paper and cardstocks that come with it, too, are really nice. So I hope that gives you some ideas. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, this is Mint Macaron. This is Pool Party, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. All right, guys. Thanks for visiting with me. Leave me some comments below. I'll get back to you. Bye.